Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome all of you to the Lightning Flash update for Friday, September 22nd, 2017. Well, at least for you guys, by the time you watch this video, it's going to be September 22nd, 2017. I'm recording this Thursday night because I have an extremely busy weekend ahead of me. College is a killer, man. It is a killer. You have no idea. I got PowerPoints, reports, papers, exams coming up. Plus, we got No Mercy this weekend. Hell in a Cell on October 8th. TLC on October 22nd. It's going to be a busy 4 months for me. Trust me. But anyway, you already know who I am. Mr. Controversy himself and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Before we start, I have two things to say. Number one, I am extremely saddened, just like WWE, at the loss of Bobby the Brain Heenan, though I never knew Bobby the Brain Heenan on television from watching wrestling, but I learned about him from my dad and my grandfather. They taught me about him, and without a doubt, he is one of the greatest managers and perhaps the greatest color commentator of all time. I watched a couple of his old talk shows and announcing days and all that other good stuff. It really makes me sad because a guy like him, he only comes around once in a lifetime. A guy like him, he had so much talent. He had that one aspect, that certain aspect about him that just clicked. That just clicked with WWE back then so well. And I really hope that his family is doing well. My condolences go out to the Heenan family. And I really hope that they find the strength to get through this difficult time. And rest in peace, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Best color commentator of all time. And number two, I'm really just going to breeze through the weekly show reviews. Nothing really too special going on this week. Maybe 1, 2 highlights out of Raw and SmackDown Live. 205 Live and NXT. Far, far, far better shows this week. Like every week. Anyway, I'm going to get right into it. So Kurt Angle kicked off Raw. Miz then interrupted. Kurt Angle said that before Miz was going to go on and on about how the Intercontinental Championship wasn't showcased enough, Kurt Angle said fatal 4-way later between Elias, the Hardy Boys, and Jason Jordan. Miz insults Kurt. Jordan comes out. He says, put the Miz Taraj in there, and there will be no excuses when I come to No Mercy and defeat the Miz for the Intercontinental title. Kurt Angle makes it a 6-pack challenge. Nia Jax defeated Alexa Bliss and Bayley returned. Then she got added to the Raw Women's Championship match going down at No Mercy this Sunday. And I don't know why the hell people are complaining, okay? In case you've forgotten, in case you've caught WWE's case of Alzheimer's, Bayley defeated Sasha Banks back in July to earn a #1 contenders opportunity against Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam before she got injured. Now WWE's following up on that. You should be happy. Jesus. Next, Sheamus and Cesaro stated that they always destroy nostalgia. Just ask the Hardys. Ambrose and Rollins came out saying that we are brothers, okay? The club came out, brother me this, brother me that, brother me softly. And Jinder actually tweeted, hashtag brother me softly. Props to Jinder. Long story short, don't call Dean Ambrose a nerd. Sheamus and Cesaro then defeated the club and Ambrose and Rollins. Cena Reigns had a promo package taking a look at the parallel careers between Cena and Reigns, how they both have many of accomplishments. Apollo Crews then defeated Kurt Hawkins. The losing streak continues. Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman had a sit-down interview where Brock Lesnar thanked Strowman for reminding him who he is. And Suplex City, bitch. Reigns then delivered his final message to John Cena, said he is not the next John Cena because he doesn't have a military crew cut. Don't believe him? Just ask Alex Riley. He stated that John will not be there tonight, and then he referenced John Cena's promo to The Rock during their build for WrestleMania 28. And Roman Reigns said the same exact thing that Cena said to The Rock. I will see you Sunday, movie star. And I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but as Reigns was walking away, he mouthed to the camera, "Big dog, bitch." So it should be a very good match. I have a feeling it should be a very good match. Asuka then had her promo package. Asuka coming soon. My guess is that she's going to debut at TLC. Seems like the most logical decision. Bray Wyatt then defeated Dustin Rhodes. Good to see Dustin Rhodes back. Finn Balor then was on the Titantron, and he cut a promo on Bray Wyatt explaining his backstory of how he created the demon, as you can see by my Finn Balor demon shirt. He created the demon, but if the demon is a creation of the man, which one is more dangerous? I like that little line that Finn added there. And then Strowman attacked Enzo. Neville came out. Red Arrow mocked Enzo. Neville defeated Grand Metalik, and Jason Jordan won the 6-pack challenge. Miz delivered the skull-crushing finale, said, "I will still be Intercontinental Champion after Sunday, and you will still be a bastard." Very boring Raw. There was nothing really to the show except for Jason Jordan winning the 6-pack challenge, and I think the Lesnar-Strowman thing. Moving on. SmackDown Live this week, Shane McMahon kicked us off. Says Owens crossed the line. "I condemn you to pain and suffering at my hands, and I condemn you to hell in a cell." I guarantee it's going to be a contender for match of the year come October 8th. Randy Orton defeated Aiden English. Rusev then came out and said, "I'm going to rip the fangs out of the Viper." And because of Aiden English, Rusev defeated Orton within 10 seconds. So I'm guessing they're going to have the rubber match at Hell in a Cell. Hopefully it should be decent. And hopefully Rusev will actually get some momentum back on his side. Blah, blah, blah. Rusev #1, right? No. WWE Champion Jinder Mahal then came out. He insulted Nakamura's culture and he acted racist. And I believe WWE released a statement on Jinder Mahal's promo after SmackDown. I think it was either Wednesday or today. I'm not completely sure. But again, Jinder Mahal is doing the same thing that he's always been doing for the past 5 months. I'm praying to God right now that Nakamura beats Jinder. Because like I keep on saying, there's only so far you can go with a guy like Jinder. I'm actually hoping that Jinder actually has a United States title reign. Because I think that that would fit his role a hell of a lot better than the WWE Championship. Because the WWE Championship, he hasn't really done too much for it. I mean, like, he's just had championship matches. They've only been looked at as championship matches. Not as actual main event caliber type extravaganzas, if you will. He's defended the title 4 times. No one really cared. But anyway, Nakamura then was in a backstage interview. He said, "Jinder's funny, yeah, but he won't be funny when he's laying on the ground after I take the WWE title from him at Hell in a Cell." Corbin and Styles' United States Open Challenge ended in complete chaos. And Corbin attacked Styles before the match even began. Dillinger came out. Dillinger chop-blocked Corbin. And Corbin then revealed he sprained his ankle, per storyline, in a backstage interview with Renee Young after AJ Styles put him in the calf crusher after Dillinger chop-blocked him. And I actually called this. I believe I called this on my show last week, and I stated that because of the attack on Dillinger by Baron Corbin, this match could very well end up being a triple threat match. My initial thought was they were going to have this United States Championship match, and Styles was going to come out victorious some way, shape, or form, but Corbin's going to end up weaseling his way back into another opportunity at Hell in a Cell. But it looks like now we could get a triple threat match. And I really do like that because Dillinger hasn't been showcased in many meaningful ways. Now that he's tied in with AJ Styles and Corbin in the United States Championship picture, this gives them something to do for perhaps the next couple of weeks. Maybe even into November. Maybe he could be representing SmackDown on the SmackDown vs. Raw 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. So, I don't know what the future holds for Dillinger at this moment, but I like that he's in a title program. Especially since that he hasn't been used very much over the course of the past 2 months. Especially with that horrendous booking decision to have him lose to Aiden English. I don't even know what the hell they're doing with Aiden English. They have Aiden English beat Dillinger. They have him beat Zayn. You have him compete against the likes of Orton. He loses. What are you doing with English? English does not have enough substance in order to put him in these types of roles. Zayn and Dillinger actually have substance. English was better off in a tag team with Simon Gotch. Unfortunately, Simon Gotch asked for his release. Excuse me, I'm running out of breath here. So, after the Corbin-Dillinger Styles incident, Charlotte came out to address Ric Flair's condition. I'm glad that Ric Flair's doing better. I was praying for you the whole time, Nature Boy. Natalya then interrupted and said that this is a night about celebrating women, and she showed a picture of herself. Charlotte then issued a challenge to Natalya. Becky came out, Naomi came out, Tamina came out, blah, 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 Fatal 4-Way. No one cares. At least no one cares about the Fatal 4-Way, at least. We all knew Charlotte was going to win anyway. New Day defeated the Hype Bros. This is just going to cause even more and more tension between the Hype Bros. Could result in a breakup or a heel turn. Because remember, Mojo Rawley said we're going to have to take drastic measures. Does that mean a heel turn? I would like to see that. Tag team title match between the New Day and the Usos was set up at Hell in a Cell. However, it has not been confirmed that it is inside Hell in a Cell. And it has been rumored. It has been rumored from multiple sources that the New Day versus the Usos could very well be inside Hell in a Cell, and there could be a no rematch stipulation like the Sasha Banks and Charlotte Iron Woman match back at Roadblock of last year. Kevin Owens then was live via satellite, and he said, "All I saw was you, Shane, when I was attacking Vince. You're going to condemn me to hell? No. People like me don't go to hell. People like me go to heaven." And when he said that, I just sat there with the biggest grin on my face. This is the Kevin Owens that we need. This is the Kevin Owens that is a necessity to SmackDown Live and the WWE in general. I am so glad that Kevin Owens is acting this way, and I cannot wait to see how Kevin Owens deals with Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell. And I do have some news. I do have some news on Kevin Owens, so stick around. Dolph Ziggler, oh God, here we go. So we had Triple Z, or Dolphy H. Then we had DZ Michaels and DZ Generation X. Where's Bobby Roode, all right? We all know this is leaning to Ziggler versus Roode, and then Ziggler's on his way out. Go to New Japan, Dolph. Hopefully, I am praying that Bobby Roode just comes out last week. Or next week, rather. Because I cannot take another week of Dolph Ziggler mocking all these superstars. And then the final week before Hell in a Cell, Bobby Roode challenges him. They're not going to have that much of a build. I like to see Dolph Ziggler mock Bobby Roode. That could bring in Bobby Roode. He mocks Bobby Roode interrupts him. Charlotte won the Fatal 4-Way. She'll go to Hell in a Cell to face Natalya. Hell in a Cell and No Mercy. Let me tell you something about Hell in a Cell and No Mercy. They are shaping up to be kick-ass pay-per-views. However, I always say this. The booking will make or break the show, and I'm going to go over all of the right booking decisions for No Mercy tomorrow. Or actually, not tomorrow, rather. Tomorrow. Tomorrow for the rundown. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm sorry. 205 Live now. So, started off with Cedric Alexander versus the Brian Kendrick. They put on a decent little match. It resulted in Cedric Alexander beating the Brian Kendrick, and Jack Gallagher attacked. The friendship only continues to grow between Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick, and he said, "Kendrick opened my eyes after he split open my head and I had to get 6 staples in it. I can stomach going down with a scar, but not as a joke." So, this could be very interesting. Is Gallagher going to go full-on heel, or are they pulling a Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt effect? That Gallagher just does this to get close to Kendrick, and when the timing is right, he's just going to beat the piss out of him. Gulak stated that he will sue Breezango, and yes, Drew Gulak is his own attorney, ladies and gentlemen, and When he looks to the future, he sees the rest of his PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoint's back. And by the way, I don't even need to say this, but the PowerPoint's more over than Roman Reigns. You get the picture. It was interrupted by Tazawa. Tazawa then defeated Noam Dar. This is going to lead to a match between Drew Gulak and Tazawa down the road. And, you know, I really do feel bad for Tazawa. I really want to just shift gears here and talk about Akira Tazawa for like a couple minutes or a couple of moments. Solely because I was very disappointed when Akira Tazawa lost the Cruiserweight title back to Neville, because I feel that Akira Tazawa, he is probably one of the best baby faces in the Cruiserweight division to carry that championship. Because Neville, we all know Neville is a beast. We all know he can carry that championship with pride and honor and prestige. But at some point, Neville has to lose. Neville has to lose the championship. You can't have Neville keep the championship for the entire championship's relevancy. If it even has any more relevancy, it could very well become a prop of Neville at this rate. But Akira Tozawa, he was one of those guys that we knew was going to be Cruiserweight champion. We just didn't know when. And we thought that he was going to have a nice, decent reign with the title. Kind of like the reign that Rich Swann had, even though it was only 2 months. It was still a decent reign. Plus, they had Neville and Rich Swann had 2 fantastic matches. And then Akira Tozawa loses it back to Neville, loses the rematch, and now he's back to where he was before. What's the point of giving these guys a Cruiserweight title opportunity if you're not going to build some other guys up to take the title off of the Beast? Because whether you want to admit it or not, Neville has been built up to be Brock Lesnar. Neville is the Brock Lesnar of the Cruiserweight division. And to be quite honest, I would say that I would want Enzo to win at No Mercy. However, it wouldn't really make it all that special because Neville has already lost the championship to Tozawa and then won it back. Neville had a monstrous reign going for him. He was approaching 200 days as Cruiserweight champion, and then you just end it for 6 days only to give it straight back to him. If you had Neville hold that championship, probably even after SummerSlam, have him beat Tozawa, and then have Enzo and Neville, then that would have made it even more special, and it would have given Enzo a lot of credibility, because that's what the WWE is all about now. It's about building up people to be credible, which in turn will make them draws. WWE doesn't have a lot of draws. They rely too much on the past. Look at what happened at this year's WrestleMania. Randy Orton, the Hardy Boys, and Brock Lesnar all walked out as champions. And you're telling me that, you know, all these young guys have a bright future? None of these guys have a bright future if they don't let go of the past. It's stuff like that that really gets under my skin. But nevertheless, moving on, Lince Dorado then was attacked. TJP then attacked Rich Swann. I like this booking decision, mainly because TJP is a hell of a lot better as a heel, number one. And number two, now Rich Swann and TJP actually have something to fight over, rather than just friendly competition. Obviously, we knew that the matches between them were good, but now they can be taken up to the next level, because now Rich Swann has a legitimate reason to be pissed with TJP. And who knows, maybe we could get a stipulation match, like we did with Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar, or Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick. And then Enzo and Neville came face to face. This promo was fantastic. Enzo stated he is twice the superstar that Neville will ever be. He stated that Neville, all he does is come out here and do the same thing over and over again. Enzo actually had substance. That's what he was saying in general. He was saying that, you know, I'm walking out here with custom-made shoes. I'm hanging out with celebrities. Neville says being a superstar doesn't matter to him. All he cares about is winning and keeping the championship. I'm not concerned about dancing like a chicken. Your mouth has gotten you in trouble before, and I was going to make this nice and quick, but now I'm going to make you suffer at No Mercy. Then he went on to say how kicking me in the crown jewels is not going to win you a championship. At that rate, I wish Enzo would have said, yeah, it's no secret that I've been using dirty tactics, and it's no secret that the locker room and I don't get along, but I know a secret that you would never admit. is that you joined the Cruiserweight division because you couldn't hang with the big boys. I've always been hanging with the big boys, but I joined this division to shut you up. That's what he should have said. That would have made the promo a hell of a lot more interesting. And you know, what's the deal with ending 205 Live 10 minutes early? Let them go the full hour. Are they really that worthless that you can't even give them an hour? Come on, Vince. Moving on, the last show before I get to the news, rumors, and reports. WWE NXT, Johnny Gargano defeated Tino Sabbatelli. Tino Sabbatelli is slowly coming into his own, and Johnny Gargano did a very good job at making Tino Sabbatelli look good. Bianca Belair then defeated Lacey Evans. She could be involved in the NXT Women's Championship picture come NXT TakeOver Houston, or it could possibly be Ember Moon or Dakota Kai. One of those three is facing Kairi Sane. It's either that or they're having a multi-women match. Aleister Black spoke for the first time, and he spoke about the scars tell the story of his journey from the heart on his neck to the devil on my back, and the Velveteen Dream interrupted. The Velveteen Dream interrupted says, everything that fades to black must step into the light at some point. This could actually be a very interesting feud. I was not too fond of the Velveteen Dream, but I got to give some credit to Patrick Clark. He's really going all in on this. Just like NXT and Aleister Black, they're going all in on Aleister Black. Patrick Clark's going all in on the Velveteen Dream gimmick. They had a spot where the Velveteen Dream, or Patrick Clark, whatever you want to call him, I'll just call him the Velveteen Dream. He was saying that, you know, I could turn whatever this is just a man who's hurt. This is just a man who's wounded. And then Aleister Black did a black mass to the hand, and then they had a stare-off. And one thing I really liked about the whole thing, this was before the Velveteen Dream even came out. This is before Aleister Black even uttered a word. When he was coming out, the crowd was singing his theme song. Just like they did with Bobby Roode, just like they did with Shinsuke Nakamura. They were singing his theme song, and I sat there with the biggest grin on my face. Aleister Black, he's going to be an NXT champion or an NXT mid-card champion if they do insert a mid-card title at some point in 2018. Aleister Black is fantastic. And if I was Vince McMahon, I would be extremely high on Aleister Black. Lars Sullivan then defeated No Way Jose in convincing fashion, might I add. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Lars Sullivan, but he is a beast, I will say that. And then in the main event, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish defeated Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. And after that, McIntyre then came out and issued a challenge to all three men. They ran away into the crowd, and from behind the curtain, Sanity came out and attacked. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but they panned to Killian Dane. And you could hear Killian Dane mouth, "Oh yeah, motherfucker," right to Kyle O'Reilly's face. And I was laughing my ass off when he said that, or when I saw him mouth that. And it ended with Sanity and McIntyre standing tall. And I think I might have stated this before on a prior Lightning Flash update, but I'm not sure. Someone correct me if I had already said this. But I think that this could very well lead to McIntyre and Sanity versus Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Bobby Fish in a 6-man tag team match. Winner take all for the first time ever. 6-man tag team match for the NXT tag team titles and the NXT title. I would not mind seeing that, but I would want to see that at either NXT TakeOver Philly or NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Now, onto the news, rumors, and reports section of this video. We're going to start off the news, rumors, and reports section with a shout out to Mr. Slice Wrestling, hashtag Slice Knows. Follow him at Slice Wrestling. He reported that the Christmas night Raw and the post-Christmas SmackDown Live have been confirmed to take place at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. You cannot get any more desperate than that. Number one, Raw and SmackDown should not have even happened that week. They should not have even happened. The superstars should have gone home. They should have been with their families. But Vince McMahon, like the greedy SOB that he is, he has to make them compete on Christmas. If I was Vince, I would be telling each and every single wrestler who's competing that night to tell their families to buy tickets, okay? Or give them money to give their families tickets. And this isn't really that important. I just I wanted to get a shout out in there to Slice Wrestling because he gives me a lot of good reports, but I just really wanted to get him in there. And number two, actually, in Chicago, that is pure desperation because we all know Chicago's a hardcore wrestling crowd. So Vince McMahon really had to go all in. We're going to get a lot of CM Punk chants that night, even though it's Christmas. People are going to buy. Trust me. Moving on, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer noted that Mike Kanellis' absence is actually due to the fact that WWE does not want to push him right now upon his initial debut. He didn't knock him dead, quote-unquote, with his first matches. Again, I stated this during my burial of Battleground. Again, I state, who the hell booked Mike Kanellis like this? It was you, Michael P.S. Hayes, Vince McMahon, Road Dogg, Kevin Dunn. You dug your own grave with Mike Kanellis. You have to lie in it, plain and simple, okay? Mike Kanellis should have debuted as the Miracle Mike Bennett. He would have been extremely over with this cocky heel gimmick. He could have been a mid-card champion within 7 months, I swear. I could take Kurt Hawkins and I could make him a credible mid-carder within a year. That's how confident I am in my abilities. But no, you give him this power of love gimmick that will never get over anywhere but NXT. Great job, Vince. What else is new? Moving on to Cageside Seats, they reported that Paige's return is being promoted like she is a free agent and could end up on either Raw or SmackDown Live. I actually like this decision. Excuse me. I actually like this decision. I'm a little tongue-tied. I like this decision because Paige, even though she was drafted to Raw, if you guys remember back during the 2016 draft, you look at the competition on Raw, and you have Nia Jax, you got Sasha Banks, you've got Mickie James, you've got Emma, you've got Bayley. And you take a look at that roster, and you're like, okay, that's a pretty packed roster. Then you take a look at SmackDown Live, and really the only credible opponents on SmackDown Live are Becky, Charlotte, Naomi, and maybe Carmella or Natalya. Other than that, other than Charlotte and Becky, there's really no other person to challenge Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Naomi already had her rematch and she lost. You're not going to give Carmella the championship now because Natalya hasn't had a long enough run with it. So I would like the decision of Paige to go to SmackDown Live to give Natalya and Becky and Naomi even more competition. Plus, of course, Tamina is useless. Tamina's useless. Natalya, she's going to lose that championship probably by November. Maybe she'll probably lose it at Hell in a Cell. I don't know when the hell she's going to lose it, but she's going to lose it soon. I have a bad feeling about it. And I really don't want Natalya to have a quick reign with it. Because I think Natalya's deserved a long, lengthy reign with a championship. I think she's just been given the cold shoulder and shafted. Mainly because of all this new talent that's coming up from NXT. Women like Becky, women like Charlotte, women like Sasha and Alexa Bliss and Bayley. And Natalya's been a bit overlooked. So I'm glad that Natalya is champion. And hopefully, I am hoping that she actually retains at Hell in a Cell. Next, we got a few more reports from Cageside Seats. And they reported that Starrcade, if you did not know, WWE is bringing back Starrcade, and I believe it is going to be on November 25th, sometime after Survivor Series. I believe that's a Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it is going to be a live event, and it is not likely to be filmed. Excuse me. Because WWE may just be bringing back old WCW events simply to boost the live event sales. Talk about utter desperation. Talk about utter desperation. If you really want to boost the sales, actually put on decent storylines. It's just stuff like this. Stuff like this. They resort to all these desperation tactics, and they can't just do the simple thing and actually give us storylines with people that we want to see. They're not going to do the simple thing and give the title to Nakamura, or give a title to Braun Strowman, or not put Roman Reigns in the main event. It's stuff like this. They always go the complicated route and the desperate route rather than the simple and obvious route. It's really starting to piss me off, I'm telling you. Cageside Seats also reported that Jinder Mahal, the WWE champion, is working through a shoulder injury. Although the severity of this injury is unknown, it is unknown as of right now whether or not Jinder Mahal will lose the WWE Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura at Hell in a Cell. If it is severe, then more than likely Jinder Mahal is losing. I want Nakamura to become champion, period. At this rate, I don't know what route they're going to go, because remember, Jinder did defeat Nakamura at SummerSlam, which I don't agree with. But then again, I don't know. I don't know what route they're going with for Hell in a Cell. But if this shoulder injury that Mahal's working through is very severe, you can expect a new WWE champion. We got a couple more. Actually, my bad. We have one more. According to PW Insider, this is my final rumor, there is speculation that WWE is currently considering a Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens rivalry after Hell in a Cell. I am all for this. Mainly because of the fact that if Bobby Roode defeats Ziggler and Kevin Owens defeats Shane McMahon, these two, they're really not going to have anything to do. You're not really going to insert them into a championship match yet. So, you have Bobby Roode get a win over a legit competitor like Kevin Owens, and then he goes for AJ's US title. He takes the title off of AJ. AJ could win the Rumble. Nakamura's champion. There you go. And Kevin Owens, I believe he could probably be on Team SmackDown for the interpromotional match. So I like this decision. And plus, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that these two have ever crossed paths outside of WWE. Because I've never read anything, I've never seen any videos of Kevin Owens and Bobby Roode facing in Ring of Honor, in New Japan, in TNA, anywhere. So this would be very interesting. I would like to see how these two work together. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video live. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at ddog316. Follow me on Twitter at #1 WWE fan. Do not forget to like, to comment, to subscribe. Do not forget to check out the rundown for WWE Raw brand exclusive pay-per-view No Mercy, which is going to be up tomorrow, the day before No Mercy. And by the way, No Mercy is streaming live Sunday, September 24th, live on the WWE Network, with the pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. Till next time, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. You enjoy your weekend and show them no mercy.